I need to turn my volume up. I have it all the way down. There, that's better. I was like, I won't hear anybody. So Zoom, it's not Zoom. Facebook changed things, and I don't think I can Facebook Live into our group without doing all kinds of crazy things now, but I'm gonna see. Let's see. Oh, yay, Sally's on. Continue. Switch to Ann. Switching accounts. Need to switch to Ann. Okay, so let's do that. Should be able to let's see here. Out of my timeline. See if it'll let me switch to a page. Yeah, I don't know why it's not finding any of my, it's only finding one of my pages, which is really weird that I manage. It's not finding anything else. So you're not gonna mess with that. All right. We're just gonna do it this way. So I'm gonna give everybody a few minutes to get on. The email I sent out, I let them know that, we can't live stream anymore until I figure it out. There's like a long, finally found a step-by-step, but it's like a long step-by-step of how to fix it. I was like, oh my gosh, so silly. But I know we can get at least 100 people on my, we can get up to 100 people on my Zoom account. I don't know that we'll have that many people show up, but we'll see what happens. Hey, Jim, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. So I'm gonna give everybody till about 3 or 4 minutes after to get on because usually people straggle in.
Hi, Jim. Hi, Sally.
Hey, Hannah.
I'll try to push it to my headshot group too.
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's really weird. I am owner of like 3 different business pages, and the only one it's pulling up is one, and I'm not sure why it's acting that way. It won't pull up 2 of my other business pages, and one of them is PPNC. So it's like, well, I'll try and stream it to the front side of PPNC on the business page, but it doesn't even find that for me. So it's so weird. Hey, Kimberly. Can't believe we're almost to June already. This is crazy. She was
The
going
other
by
day I
way too
said to my
fast.
niece, I was like, can you believe it's already the end of March? She looked at me and I was like, oh my gosh, it's the end of April.
That's right. I was thinking, wait a minute, isn't it the end of April? I mean, I didn't lose a whole month, did I?
I lost the whole month.
Oh my gosh.
Hello. It is getting the days and months are going by way too quickly.
Yeah, they really are. It is crazy.
Okay, I'm with you now. Sorry, I kept forgetting to pay my sales tax. I'm like, oh crap, I got to get that filed today. So that's what I was
Right?
thinking of.
Hi, Terrence.
Yeah, South Carolina's a little more lenient. They let us do it quarterly if we want.
No, this is my quarterly, but
Oh, is it quarterly? Okay. Oh, I guess it is quarterly.
yeah.
Yep.
Tomorrow's the last day to pay the quarterly. So
Yep.
done, checked off.
Right. One more thing to check off.
I meant to do it last week.
Okay. Get this thing. So we have something to eat here, kiddo.
Okay. Well, I'm on a call now.
Oh, sorry.
Terrence, did you say something about being in Canada?
Oh, you're on mute.
I can't hear you.
I was saying, how was the seminar this past weekend? I couldn't go.
It was fun. We had a little bit of a snafu. So Claire was our all-day presenter on Saturday, and she came down with, she thinks it might have been food poisoning.
Ooh.
So at 5:30 in the morning, she texts me and she's like, I'm so sorry, I've been up all night throwing up. I was like, and she's like, and it's not stopping.
Oh my gosh.
So we took the people for Sunday and had them present on Saturday. And then I voluntold 2 people that they were
All right.
gonna present on Sunday. I was initially gonna do a Photoshop class because I was like, well, we gotta have somebody do, and Photoshop was one of the things they wanted to do.
Uh-huh.
But then Emerson started asking, questions so that newbies would understand more stuff. And I looked over at him because I forget who was doing somebody was doing something the day before. And I looked over at him, I was like, hey, maybe you should teach the Photoshop 101 class. And he goes, I could do that. It's like, yay, because I had a lot
Hey.
to do. So, and then I had Linda and had Dave assist her doing lighting and posing so that people could get used to like proper posing and lighting patterns and stuff. So it went well considering a little bit of the chaos, and we had some models that had broken down cars and no shows, and so we just pulled people from everywhere to model, including members, and got them
Okay.
made up.
Well, it's
We
good to
did
get the
good.
members in front of the camera.
Huh?
It's good to get the members in front of the camera.
Oh yeah, it is. And we have some really talented people that are members as far as for instructors. So we're really lucky that we have so many people
Yeah.
that are actually instructors as well. So that worked out really well.
That's good. Oh,
Hey, dog, get away. Stop. All right, let's give people just another minute to straggle on here. And I'm recording this, so I'm gonna put it on our YouTube channel, and then I'll share it into the group so people can come back in and watch it later. And Hannah, do I have you in our Facebook group yet?
Oh, I even tried searching for it so I could tag it, and I couldn't even find it in search.
Oh gosh. Okay, so I
Yeah.
will I'll send you a link for it. It's a private group, so
Oh, that's probably why I
there's
couldn't find it.
so we have a business one on the front end, Professional Photographers of North Carolina, but then
Mhm.
the other one is the private group, and that one might be harder to find. So, but I think it's Professional Photographers of NC maybe, or Professional Photographers of North Carolina. I can't remember what comes up when you search for the business page. So I will definitely get you added to the group. That way, if people have questions, they can leave a question in the link,
Tag me, yeah.
and then that way you can answer their questions. So basically we're going to just kind of interview you on your class, and that way people can get a little bit of information about what to expect for the class. And it sounds like it's going to be really, really good, because her class is about building your headshot business into a 6-figure business in 1 year. I was like, who doesn't want to do that?
And it's so friggin' easy.
I know. It's like, that
anybody
sounds
can do
like a pretty cool deal to me right there.
Yeah, that's
And I don't
that's
want it
great.
to sound like one of those infomercials,
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
but it's what I did, so.
But yeah,
Pretty
I'm
amazing.
gonna kind of let you go over what what your outline is for the class, and then let people ask questions. So
Yeah, sure. So, first of all, like when I've asked photographers who are taking this course, like, how are you feeling right now? What are your goals? A lot of them, first of all of them are already making over 6 figures in their business, but what they're doing right now isn't working for them in terms of their life. And so that's why they have done this course. And so the things that they've said already making over 6 figures is they're a bit overwhelmed and burnt out. They're overwhelmed with work and no time for life. They're not reaching their goals financially. So maybe they're making a lot, but a lot is going out the door. I don't know how to find more steady or higher grossing clients. My schedule isn't as booked as I want it to be, to get as much time off as I want, all of those things. And that's so common. And I don't know, like, do you guys, I always just kind of assume nobody knows who I am, but I have taught in the industry previously. So before, back in 15 to 2018, 2019, I was teaching like luxury family client experience. And that's how I felt, was the overwhelm. The work is never done. It felt heavy in the sense that like it was successful and I was making a lot of money, but I was juggling like 11 balls in the air every day because I had 11 different clients, and I have ADHD. So I found that really overwhelming, and my brain would kind of just shut down and not want to do any work, because it was like okay, well, this client's at this phase of the process and these 10 others are at different phases, and it was just too much. So I had assumed when I built out that business structure that lower volume and higher touch was better because of my ADHD. I was like, oh, if I only have to manage like 25, 30 clients a year, that's way better. But what I actually realized is that when it's so high touch, it's me doing a lot of the stuff, and it's a lot of different stuff with every client every month. And so when I started to explore into headshots, I realized that it's so low touch and high volume that like I actually don't have to do most of the work. I just have to show up and shoot, edit, and send it back. All the rest of the work is done by my CRM. And so that business structure works much better for my brain. And then all my work is done at the end of the day. I can just go home and actually be off because there's no other shoot client facing work for me to do, which I really value. So this course is really for people in two categories. You either want to build out a headshot brand to funnel people into another brand. So one of the things I did at the beginning was I used my headshots. You know, I'd have like dental surgeon clinics coming through for headshots. And because they're in my portrait studio, I'd have family portraits up around the walls, and then they'd obviously think about their own family and say like, oh, my partner's always been on me to get family portraits done for the last 4 years. And, you know, there's always like Valentine's Day or birthdays, anniversaries just around the corner. So I'd say, oh, you know, Valentine's Day is 2 weeks from now. Do you have a gift for them? And then I would turn that headshot client into a family portrait session. And I did that all the time. And that's when I was doing both and building up my headshot business, because as I built it up, I accepted fewer and fewer family clients and more headshot clients until I was 100% headshots. Now, if you want to continue doing that, you can totally do that to use it to funnel people in. Or the other way is what I'm doing right now. I don't do anything else. I just do headshots and branding for businesses. I don't do anything for personal photography anymore. So basically in this course, it's going to be a lot of content. We'll try to get through it all in 4 days, but you're going to get a workbook. It's not like you come and listen to lectures and take notes and like think that you might be able to do it at the end. We're like actually doing the work in the course. So we're going to look at everything from when I think of like what made my business successful to get that first 6 figures of just headshots. It's all unpaid ads. I don't have much of a social media following on my headshot Instagram. It's all just organic, either through Google or through word of mouth. So we're going to be going through SEO, how to get people to your website, how to write your marketing messaging to ensure that once they get on your website, they're seeing exactly what they need to know and nothing more. So how do you convert them once they're on the website? Your response times, your excellent client experience, everything that goes into the client experience. Basically, by the time you're done, your CRM will be built out, ready to go for your clients. And also how to do the great product, because it doesn't matter if everything else is good if they don't like their headshots. So we'll also be going into how to shoot headshots. My express sessions, I usually shoot for 3 to 4 minutes per person. So how to get the courage to do that, how to not overshoot, how to make it efficient for your clients. And when you do make it more efficient for them, they'll actually pay more, because these are the clients who want to buy their time. They don't want to be wasting time in a photography studio if they can get 1 or 2 or 3 great headshots in 20 minutes versus an hour. So that's a very high level. There's going to be a whole section on marketing, marketing messaging, creative marketing. How do you get people in the door? Because that's something I've heard a lot about, is people don't know how to find their clients. And I think that's everything, but there's going to be a whole full workbook that you're going to work through and do all the work while you're in the course. So by the end of the 4 days together, you'll at least have an idea of like what other work you have to complete if you didn't do it in the workbook, but you can just basically take that as your business plan and then go launch your new headshot brand.
So I love that you're giving a workbook out. That's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's going to be pretty intensive. Like, don't come if you don't
Yeah.
want to do the work. This is like for the
Right.
people who want to put the work in and leave with
And
it
I have
ready to
seen on
go.
the back end already her request for models so that she has a good variety for the students. You know, so that you can work with a very large variety of people.
Yeah, my website, if you go to it, kwheadshots.ca, like my city's very diverse, and my goal is always like I want anyone who goes to my website to see themselves. So you'll see people of all ages, from people from all around the world. We have 2 big international universities here, so we have students from all around the world coming in. All the different things you can think of. So I've mentioned that in the models. I don't know if we'll be able to get the models. If not, we'll just use everybody that's at the conference and set up headshot booths so people can practice. But
Well,
yeah.
the nice thing about that area, the Raleigh-Durham area and Chapel Hill, is that it is a very diverse area. So we might be able to fill almost all of your needs, all of
Okay.
your requests. So
Sure.
because Duke is there, so the Duke University
Oh,
is
yeah.
there, so that helps a lot because there is a lot of foreign people there, as well as just people
Mhm.
from all over the world. So yeah,
Mhm.
we might be able to do it. We'll see. We're gonna try. So yeah.
Perfect.
Okay,
Yeah.
so you're
Does-
gonna be teaching a pretty well-rounded class then, it sounds like, from how to set it up to your strategy for SEO, to setting up your website and bringing clients in, and just all
all
of
the
it.
workflows, all the emails,
Yeah,
how to quote, how to price, how to structure your packages,
that's exciting.
everything.
Okay.
I just like whenever I've taught from the stage, I always look at it and I'm like, I'm sure only like 2 or 3% of the people of these 800 are actually going to go and like do the work. So I'm like,
Mhm.
if we do the work in the class, like you have no excuses.
Right.
Um,
Yeah. That's the nice thing about East Coast School, is because they do have 4 pretty long days.
mhm.
And it's kind of up to the class too. I mean, you have a set amount of hours to work, but if the class gets done, or they think they can get done in an hour for their lunch or even less, and they want to go back to, I mean, the class can decide as a
Mhm.
class, once you get in there that day, what they want to do. If they want to come in earlier than 9 o'clock, I mean, that's the nice thing, is that
Yeah.
as a classroom, you guys can all decide what you want to do. You don't have to stick to the exact plan. You can't come in
Mhm.
earlier if everybody's like really gung ho and yeah, I don't want to start at 9. We all want to start at 8 because we're ready to learn. You could do that. Because it
Yeah,
sounds like
that's awesome.
Hannah Marie might have a lot to teach
Yeah, I
to
do.
get through.
It'll be
So
pretty action packed. Yeah. And
yeah.
also thinking of, oh, what was it? Oh, I totally just blanked. It'll come back to me though.
Hey, when
There's
that
so
happens.
my brain has just been so engulfed in all of the content the last like many weeks getting the workbook ready that
That's
yeah,
awesome.
it's pretty exciting.
Yeah, that is. That's
Oh,
awesome.
and I'll say there will also be an option. Anyone who does end up booking for the class by tonight, you'll get the benefit of what I've given to everyone who's already registered, which is you'll get to fill out a questionnaire of like where you're at in your business, where you want to be, what you're hoping to get from the course, what would make it feel like a success for you. So that'll help me to really make sure that the content we're teaching is addressing what you're looking for. But then also you'll get a one-on-one call with me within the next week again, so we can go a bit deeper and ensure that
Oh,
what we're
nice.
teaching. Yeah. And I'm making tonight the cutoff because there's only so many weeks until East Coast School. So I
Right.
can't
Yeah,
keep iterating it. But yeah.
gotta have time to talk to
Mhm.
everybody. So that makes
Absolutely.
And
sense.
can we share that little tidbit of information on our Facebook page that might
Yes.
push a couple of people to go ahead and get registered today?
Yes. I just need to make sure I type it up properly and don't jack it. Because you know how
You
it
can send
is.
me a little draft if you want, and I can proof it for you.
Oh yeah. So here and and I can actually rewind and type word for word what you just said too, because I have this
Oh,
recording.
sure, sure.
So yeah, I'll
Yeah,
do that. That's what I'll do.
sounds good. Yeah.
All right, cool.
Yeah. So, and I think, well, I'll share why I decided to shift to headshots. It was 2 factors. One is like the low volume, high touch versus high volume, low touch, and realizing that the former is better for my brain. The second was when I had an $11,000 family session. So the final sale was $11,000. I was really curious how it stacked up against my headshots because in 2018 I built out a headshot specific website just to see if it would garner enough interest to go like to get more business there. And it was doing pretty well. And in 2019, in January, I had an $11,000 family session. I thought, you know what? I'm going to just break this out hourly and see how it looks because it sounds really fancy and impressive. And it is like, it's a huge achievement, but, which I had like had many times before that. But that time I was just like, I wonder how this measures up. So I took out the cost of goods. I looked at how many hours I put into it. And the actual profit per hour was only 50% of the profits I make off of the express headshot sessions. And I was like, okay, my brain feels so much more overwhelmed in that business structure. And this one's making double the amount of profit, like, and my brain is happy in it. Like, why wouldn't I just go 100% into that? So that was the other factor is like, it's in the numbers of, not only is it like, in my opinion, the way my brain works, like easier to make 6 figures or multiple 6 figures in this, but it's also far more profitable than like when you have $4,000 or $5,000 out the door for goods for the family stuff. And I'll say the business structure that I have is I like to work 10 months of the year. We have property, I say in the States because I'm Canadian, but we have property in Northern Michigan. So we spend about a month to 6 weeks there every year. And then my brother lives in Hong Kong. So we go there and then we sometimes meet up somewhere else in the world. So we do a lot of traveling. And so for me, it's important to have flexibility and to not have to work all the time. And so this business structure is based on if you shoot for 10 months of the year, 1 6-hour day a week for 10 months of the year is 600,000, or sorry, is 100,000. So for every day of the week that you shoot another 6 hours in express headshots is another 100,000 per year. So if you only want to work 2.5 days a week, you can do that and pull in $250,000 of revenue. And I would typically say 50% of that would go to owner's compensation. So it's a very light kind of business that like at the end of the day, all your work is done and you can just go enjoy life and all the money you made.
That sounds nice.
Yeah. Does anybody have any questions?
I'm just curious. Actually, I'm not going to be able to be in your class because I got to be kind of running the show the week of East
Yeah.
Coast. I'm just curious, what CRM do you use?
Yeah, I use 17 Hats. Yeah. I've been with them since basically their year one. And they were actually, it's an interesting story actually, because I had made it a 5-year goal to be on Creative Live, which they didn't know. I didn't even know that they knew who I was, 17 Hats. And long story short, I found out that I was one of their top 3 referral sources. And that's before I started teaching. I had just written a blog series and I would just share it with people on social media when I saw them asking. And then because of that relationship, within, I think 5 months, I had been offered Creative Live. So that was pretty cool. So I have been on their speaker team ever since 2015-ish. And it still serves my company really well. So I've never needed to move on. No.
Yeah, I think a lot of our members are on 17 Hats.
Mhm.
But we have a lot of
That's a good
members on
platform.
nothing, so we're trying to get them to come to Carolina Photo Expo.
Oh, so we are going to be hosting a social
Mhm.
because I believe 3 of the different educators are 17 Hats ambassadors. So
Mhm.
there is going to be one night at East Coast School in which it will be like a 17 Hat social.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah, we've just been chatting about that with them.
Okay, good.
Mhm. But yeah, if you want them to come, I mean, I could put you
Yeah,
in
because
touch with them
so
if you
Carolina
want.
Photo Expo is after East Coast School, and that's our really
Yeah.
it's our state convention every year. And we
Mhm.
have we actually have a trade show, and we do have a guy in North Carolina that's willing to come and man the station. He's a commercial photographer. He's in the Raleigh-Durham area. So he had said for us to reach out to him. Now he's slowed down, so I can reach out to him, and we're going to try and get them. So maybe if we have you guys putting pressure on them and he puts pressure on them, maybe we can get them there.
Yeah, yeah,
It'd be great.
definitely.
You guys tell
Yeah.
them how wonderful we are. We're an awesome group.
Definitely. Now, Kimberly, did I see you were about to ask a question before Sally? Did you have a question? No? Okay. Did anybody else have a question?
Mm-mm.
Cool.
Your equipment requirement, is there anything that I need to bring to support you?
All the stuff behind me.
Okay.
I'm flying in from Canada, so
So I fit in my truck.
I can talk to Gary and Kim. I don't know if you know this, Gary and Kim are from my city, which I think is so funny that like,
That is funny.
but also Gary, I brought him to Shutterfest as my assistant one year because he had always wanted to check it out. And that's how he got pulled into the whole conference scene and speaking. So that's pretty fun. So they're driving. I might be able to send some things with them,
Oh,
but
nice.
I'll let
Okay.
you know, like definitely an highlighter. If you have any, like I use Profoto B10s. I've also spoken obviously with everybody that's already registered because we had our one-on-ones, and I've mentioned a few things to them as well that they can bring, but I'll be putting together like a gear list for people to bring, and I'll include that for you too,
Okay.
Terrence, so that we can ensure that at least there's one setup. I know one person's bringing an eyeliner, but it's nice if we can have multiple, so we can have multiple stations going for people.
So,
Yep. Yeah, because a lot of times we can get enough of our members to bring stuff, and what we can't get, one of our camera stores is going to be there, and he can sometimes provide stuff for us too. So,
Oh, that'd be great.
so yeah.
Yeah, I usually shoot with my eyeliner, one B10 with an umbrella in my studio. My studio ceilings are not even 8 feet tall, and I know that's a huge no-no, but when I'm shooting on site, I use umbrellas. Here, I just use my little tiny softbox. And then I always stand on an Apple box, so if there can be an Apple box there, and then a tripod. That's
Okay.
all I need. And a
I
backdrop.
do
like
have
this.
Apple boxes. I can bring an Apple box.
Perfect.
I have a whole
Yeah.
bunch of sizes, so we'll go over that.
what is your background of choice?
So in studio, I actually just shoot on my white walls. So even just like a wall that doesn't have wallpaper or whatever, or
Or just some
what do
white
I
paper.
use? Well, I use, yeah, any backdrop is fine. I use, I don't even know what it is. Oh, I use a Savage, one of the
Savage,
pop-up
okay.
ones. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Linda would probably let us borrow hers. She's got a white one and black one that's a pop-up. It's not Savage, but it's a pop-up system.
Yeah.
So
And I usually shoot on
I have-
white.
I'm sure there's enough of us that could bring that along too. So
Yeah.
that would be good.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I was torn between your class and an SEO class, and now I'm really torn because it's like, oh my gosh.
Well, we're covering SEO, just so you know. And we
I know
do have some
because you are
bonuses.
touching base on that, and yeah. Yep,
I have a
I'm-
whole SEO checklist. I'm just wondering what he's going to do for 4 days.
well, he's going.
To be
There's,
honest, but
he's probably going to go pretty in depth because he's also doing like the ads, Facebook and Google ads, and
Mhm.
he's going through a whole lot of stuff. So,
Yeah.
but
So
now I'm
mine
leaning.
is like,
I hope he's
I've
not
still
listening.
never
I'm
paid
leaning
for
towards you
ads.
now. I'm leaning towards your class now.
Yeah, I've never paid for ads. Wait, who is this iPhone? Somebody
I
just said,
know.
I'm excited, thank you. I don't know who this is. But I've
He's gonna be
literally never
mad at
paid
me.
for ads. I've never got Google ads or Facebook ads or Instagram ads, and I'm still growing in revenue every year.
Mhm.
That's not to say this year, actually, I do want to grow exponentially faster. Oh, Constance. Hi, Constance. I do want to grow exponentially faster than what I had paced out for my first year or two. So we are going to start being a bit more intentional with marketing in that way. But yeah, the SEO that we're going to do is a full page checklist. In addition to
Okay.
that, I did all my own SEO because I'm kind of a nerd like that. But I have a really good friend who's an excellent SEO and like website guy. And so he's actually going to do a whole video bonus for everybody in the class
Oh, nice.
on like, okay, here's the checklist Hannah wrote out. Here's how you actually do that and implement it. Yeah, Jamie, I would like a list of
Jamie,
what I'm
yeah.
supposed to be bringing to the class. Oh, you're registered. Yay. Okay, great. Yeah, and if I can also get an updated list of
Yeah, I'll
my
get an
class
updated
attendees,
list
that
to
would be
you because
great.
there's probably some new people then that have registered. And I have a feeling after
Yeah.
I get this up tonight, you'll get some more people. So yeah.
Perfect. Yeah. And you know what? I don't even mind if it's a small class because that just means we can go deeper with each person.
I
So
know
whatever we like.
it.
Yeah, and yeah, absolutely. So leading up to the course or leading up to the class, probably about 2 weeks out, we'll send out like a list to everybody that's in the class of the things to bring. And all the stuff that you'll need to know.
Okay.
I have a
Yeah,
question.
sure.
Hannah, do you ever shoot on V flats?
I mean, I could. I've wanted to build them out. I just never have. I have many corners in my studio. Like, oh, I forgot that I locked my table. You can see, I have like a lot of corners in my studio that I can use as V flats, but I just honestly have such a simple setup. I'm the kind of person, I don't buy gear just to have it. I only buy gear if I feel like I'm limited by what I currently have. So if something is a pain point over and over and over again, and I'm like, I just need something to fix this, then I'll get new gear. But I'm a pretty simple gear person.
So the reason that I asked that question, and for those of you who are on the Zoom call, so you get to know this before anybody else. Okay, so most people do know in the evenings we try to do activities, and we will have, you know, some shooting bays set up a couple of the nights. What I had planned to do on Monday evening is to give a brief presentation on how people can do headshots on white, gray, and black backgrounds just using the one V flat. So I am planning to bring one of mine with me. So if you are, I'm just showing them how
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
do it. If you
Yeah.
want to be close by and interject, you are welcome to do so.
Sure.
But I will have that V flat there for the week. So, you know,
Sure.
if you wanted to use that also, you'd be welcome to.
Okay, perfect.
Constance
Yeah.
says yes.
Oh, I see it.
I'm already planning in my head how to I'm actually really introverted. I'm very outgoing and I can talk to anyone about anything, but I'm so introverted. I'm already planning how I'm going to get my energy through the 4 days because I know it's going to be similar to Shutterfest in the fact that it's just like
Yeah.
nonstop.
Yeah.
But it's going to be great. I'm looking forward to it. And then who is? Oh, Chuck. I can see
Yes.
a red image there. Perfect. Yeah. Well, thinking of, I'm just trying to think of like, is there anything else to share? I have a bunch of bonuses for everybody. Just reading through all my notes here. This is actually going to be turned into an 8 or 10 week course of like an hour, 2 hours of teaching each week after this, which is also pretty exciting. Yeah, I think that covers most of it.
So how much, this is
Mhm.
Chuck, how much time
Mhm.
do you spend on editing these images?
So quick. So we'll go over all that in the course in depth. However, basically my business structure is if somebody's booked in an express headshot session, I tell them it's 20 minutes. Most of the time, that's done in 15. But I also have a 10-minute buffer. So on my calendar, it shows 30 minutes, on theirs, it shows 20. And typically, my goal is always to have the headshot back in their inbox before they're back home or at their office. So it's all done before the next client shows up.
And how many pictures do you take in those 20 minutes?
Well, I only shoot for like anywhere from 2 to 5 minutes, depending on the person. So I don't say a set amount. I just shoot until I know I have the shot. But I'll say like when I first started offering these, I would shoot for like 15 or 20 minutes and realize I totally overshot and it should be the end of the appointment. So it took some adjusting to know like, okay, I'm confident that they'll like what I see and just stop. So yeah, we'll go through all of that.
All right, thank you.
What do you currently do?
I do
Are you
headshots.
a headshot photographer? Yeah, nice.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
And are you like happy with the structure of your business right now, or you want to revamp it a bit, or just see? I know like sometimes if I go to a class, I went to a headshot class at Megan's. I went to PopCon in Florida, and I went to a headshot class, and I'm like, am I gonna learn anything? Am I not? Like, and actually, I went in thinking I might get like one gold nugget, and walked away with like, I implemented one of the ideas I learned, and the next month I got another 20 grand out of that one idea. So it's like you never know.
Yeah.
Wow.
I
what
wanted to
you're
go to
gonna learn.
BobCon so bad, but I had a
It's
brand
so
new little
good.
I had a brand new little grandbaby, so I missed BobCon, but I wanted to go so bad.
Yeah,
Oh my goodness.
yeah. That was Corey Howell teaching from Texas.
Okay.
She did a class on I think a 7-figure headshot studio.
Yeah.
No. Yeah, I just starting out, so
Oh,
I have
nice.
a lot of connection, a lot of people wanting to get
Mhm.
to take their headshots. So, for example, my neighbor is a senior vice president at GSK, and he got his headshot taken yesterday, and GSK is using it on their website tomorrow.
Nice.
So,
That's awesome.
yeah, and so but as of structure wise, I don't really have a structure yet. So that's why I'm
Yeah.
here to
Yeah.
kind of, get my feet
Yeah.
wet.
Mhm.
This will literally, you won't just get your feet wet, you'll just be like diving right in. You'll know all the things by the end of it. It's literally like, it's pretty much a done for you studio. So in the 4 days, we'll do as much as we can. In the 8-week course that I'm going to be teaching, it's a done for you. Like all of the 17 hats things are going to be included in terms of workflows, emails, all of that stuff. The quotes. I'm also going to be covering like how to build out your sessions. Like I'm going to show mine as an example. And if you like that, feel free to take it. And if there's anything you want to adjust, I'll teach you like what's a staple of like, you shouldn't tweak these details, but like these things can be adjusted kind of a thing. And all in terms of like pricing psychology and marketing psychology and all of that stuff. Yeah, how to do team quotes, high volume days, all that stuff.
Awesome.
Thank you.
I'm really excited. I was reading over the questionnaires before this, again, like pulling out some of these things that people have said. And it just made me so excited because I think it's going to be really great for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
You ever do on-site?
Yeah, we do. So I'd say it really depends on the company. We're right in the heart of Uptown Waterloo, right in the heart of my city. And so there are a lot of companies who when they realize where we are, they're like, oh, we'll just send our people over. They can walk there because we're so close.
Oh, nice.
And then others are like right across the street at the hotel at a convention. And they're like, or at like a board meeting. And they're like, no, we only have 10 people, but we still want you to come on site. And then we charge our on-site fee and go over. And then other times, like last week, we were at a law firm. So it's maybe 50-50. But I charge a lot to go on site because I don't really like having to pack at my studio. So if they're happy to pay it, I'll go.
And do you typically do you do are you a one-man show, or like do you take an assistant?
I'm a
with you?
woman. You're the second guy to say that to me this week. Are you a one-man show? But yeah, so I was up until this point. Well, yes and no. So there's been phases. So I do have a makeup artist. I don't do any of the makeup. And not all my clients get makeup, but when they do, I have a makeup artist. I also have an editor who I used to send all my editing to. And now I only send her the composites. So for teams, we'll also have, oh geez, I forgot to add this in, but I guess if you guys want to learn it, we can do it. Team composites, which is a huge value add because a lot of teams, as soon as they get their team headshot or their team group photo done, somebody joins the team or leaves the team and it's outdated. So the composites allow you to edit it very easily. So she still does all of that editing. Most of the editing now, I use AI and it's so fast. And it's just like, it doesn't make sense for me to like email it to her and then use Dropbox and do all this stuff because I can have it back to the client by the time I would have had it in her inbox. But yeah, I'll go through, like, if you do want to use an editor, how to set up that structure if you want, or we can chat about that over lunch. And if you want to do all your own, then you'll see how I do it. And then the other thing, I had a studio manager probably like 2019 and 2020. And then in COVID, fall of 2020, I was at the point of wanting to build the studio up more because when I hired him, I only wanted to be shooting 2 to 3 days a week. And then I decided I wanted it to be a full-time studio, not my full-time, but having associate photographers. And at that point, I needed someone who could be here the whole time. And so he actually also he started the conversation with me because he had received a grant and needed to have more time for his own things. So that worked out really well. And then from then until now, it's just been me the whole time. And then I just hired a studio coordinator again. And so she is in week 6 right now. She's in onboarding. And that's going to allow me to, basically the goal by the end of the year is to have 2 associate photographers in addition to myself. So my current pricing for express headshots will be transferred over to the associates, and to have me photograph it will be more. And then the goal is that, like, when I'm traveling and away for those 2 months of the year, the studio can remain open and serving the community. So I've done all the things.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, sorry, I meant to say one person show, but
Oh, no, it's okay. It's a saying.
yeah. And I also just had a minor procedure for my shoulder. So I'm kind of groggy right now. So
You sound
Yeah,
groggy
no
right now. I
problem.
was wondering.
Mhm.
Did it go well? I'm
yeah,
guessing if you're on the call.
yeah, we'll know in a couple of days. The effects won't kick in until like day 3.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And that is the nice thing about headshots, is that I completely shoot using my tripod now. So if you need to, like,
Mhm.
not be lifting your shoulders all the time, it's a really nice option.
Yep.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What software do you recommend using from start to finish?
Oh, well, I'll be sending that list out to the class too. We'll go in depth into all of it, but so 17 Hats for all of the client communication and all of that stuff. I use I just switched over to Capture One about 8 months ago, and I wish that I did it sooner. I had previously just used Lightroom and Photoshop. So I switched over to Capture One specifically because of headshot tools. And I'm glad that I have Gary on text because there was a bit of a learning curve there. We'll also be going over headshot tools at the East Coast School. And then from there, I use ePhoto for editing, and then I use Pixieset for image delivery, and I think that's everything. But there's a list. You'll get the whole list. And you can have everything too, Terrence, because you're.
Thank you. Mhm.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Does anybody have any other questions?
Oh, did everybody freeze? I think my internet.
Oh, can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think maybe
Yeah.
she's frozen.
looks
I can
like
hear
you-
her.
There we go.
There you are. Let's say we could kind of
There we
hear
go.
you. We just couldn't see you. You froze, but we could hear your voice.
Okay.
That was so
I
funny.
realized everybody else froze, and I'm like, that's probably my issue.
That's
So
funny.
in my studio, I'm in like an old heritage house that's all commercialized. So downstairs, the owner of the building is a chiropractor. And so when I first signed my lease, I made a deal with him to share his internet in exchange for headshots. So
Oh,
I'm using his internet.
oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
So does anybody else have any other
Well,
questions?
yeah.
Do you work 5 days a week or more? Or less?
I guess it depends how you define work. I target to only shoot. My husband and I are totally like we go out for coffee every Saturday morning and end up talking about all of our business ideas but I try to only shoot 3 to 4 days max. But that's also why I'm bringing on the associate, so it can be open potentially 6 days a week and maybe even into the evenings. But yeah, ideally I like to have a lot of free time. So I'm not the kind of person who just wants more and more and more and more money. I want to run an efficient business that serves my financial goals well and doesn't leak money. And I also ensure that I don't leak money at home. So we spend money where we value it, and then we're pretty conservative with how we spend it. Like the house we bought, I think, was like a third or a quarter of what we were okayed for. But our big goals are mainly to have flexibility. Like last Friday, I took the day and I went and baked at my mom's house because my niece was having a bridal shower on Saturday. So I spent 8 hours cooking cupcakes and cakes for my niece. But just to have the flexibility to do that, because I really, really value like family time. So if you want it to be 5 days a week, 6 days a week, you could totally do that, but it's just not my interest unless it's somebody else shooting, which I
Right.
also love, because it's like, it's such a privilege to be able to employ artists, because a lot of artists don't know how to make money. And if they don't know how to make money, but they're really talented, they deserve to. And so I just am like honored to be able to have photographers work for me who can make a great living. I think it's really cool. So this class is mainly going to be focusing on headshots specifically. My business also offers like signature branding. Those are 2 very different styles of photography. But all of the photography side of it that I'm teaching is going to be very headshot and less branding.
And
And then
when
I'm
is the
also going to
class?
show the business structure of I'm also going to show the business structure of, if you want to keep it just express headshots, here's like the 3 packages you can offer. And if you also want to offer branding, here's how I would structure those 3 packages. Sorry, what did you say, Jeff?
Yeah, I wasn't sure when the class was.
Oh, East Coast School, June 10th,
Yeah,
10th,
10th,
11th,
10th,
12th, and 13th.
13th, yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. 4 days.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm. And then I'll be arriving this Sunday and leaving the Friday, so I'm there a bit longer. Actually, my niece who's getting married that I just mentioned, her bridal shower, she's getting married on the 7th. So it's like family flying in from the state.
Oh,
I see them for a day. We have the wedding. I see them for a day and then I leave. And they're all there for the week while I'm in North Carolina.
Send me your schedule. I have to pick you up and take you back to the airport. So I need that.
Yeah, get that to Terrence.
Yeah, definitely. Have you guys, so other people that are in the room, have you guys ventured into headshots? Do you have other specialties and you're just wondering about it? Where are you guys at?
I do them, but I'm wanting to do them more now after you did all that. I do a lot of the magical Santa sessions are my big thing.
Oh yeah.
So those, and I do a lot of senior portraits. But the branding is like senior portraits for adults.
Exactly.
So,
Very different. When I
yeah.
shifted from like family and wedding photography, which I had never really studied all that much lighting or posing specifically. Like I grew up as an artist, so I could see light, but like I never studied it formally. When I switched to headshots, I studied it for a year, lighting and posing, because it's so different. It's not
Yeah.
at all about like engagement or lifestyle. It's very, very, very specific. So, and
Yeah.
that was like 11 years into being a full-time professional photographer. And I spent a year studying posing and lighting.
Yeah,
So,
lighting and posing is a big
yeah.
thing for me and my studio partner, and she and I have taught a lot of that over the years as
Mhm.
well. Especially like the Super One Days for PPA. We
Yeah.
did a lot of lighting and posing classes, and so that's always been
Yeah.
lighting's a big thing. We do a lot of formal family portraits and generational stuff, but yeah, I love to travel. I got a grandbaby, and I'm very interested in being able to have at least a couple of months off a year where I can still
Yeah.
make money and feel like I'm not under the gun. And I love my Santa portraits, but boy, I feel like I just lose, and really I keep the Santa ones, but the family stuff during the fall, I'm just like, I'm burned out from that. I miss all of
It's
the
exhausting.
holidays because of it, I don't want to do it
Yeah.
anymore.
Yeah. And that's not any way to live. I'm
No,
just
it's
like, I'm
not.
so over all of that. I'm just like, I feel like any photographer that doesn't specialize in headshots just hasn't done the math yet.
Right. I got away
Because
from
like
weddings and
my
into,
biggest headshot day last year.
yeah,
Yeah, my headshot day last year was $18,000
yeah, that's
and
amazing.
it was 48 delivered images. Like you
That's,
can't beat that.
you can't
It's
beat
just
that.
like
No, I got away from
no.
weddings and started
And that's a company
doing,
that comes to me every year.
that's amazing. So you get that every year.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Well,
that's
that was
cool.
a bigger day. They actually fly, so they're half based here and half in Barbados. And every summer they fly their Barbados team here. And in fact, this summer we're also shooting their entire board of directors, which is billionaires from around the world.
Oh my gosh.
So yeah, they have tried other photographers and it's just not worked out for them. And basically I'm the only one that they want now. But that's what happens when you specialize, when you become so good at one specific thing, you're just
Right.
better than everybody else who's trying to do everything else, right?
Yeah.
Like if I were to go and try and shoot a wedding now, like I did that for over a decade, but that part of my brain, that muscle hasn't been worked since
Hmm.
2019. So it's like
Yeah.
I could do it, but it's like I'm gonna forget about a whole ton of stuff that I used to just do automatically, right?
Right. Right.
So yeah. Yeah. Well, I'm excited.
Most
I can't wait to
definitely.
meet everybody. And Constance, I think like you had already oh wait, is she still here? Oh no, wait. Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
she's there.
Constance is
She's
still
an
here.
iPhone.
You had registered previously before I sent out that first email blast, but I don't think I heard back from you. So if you do want to like fill out that questionnaire, I think I did back from you. You can fill out that questionnaire and then we can get a call booked. And I
And
know you're on
Constance,
the
check
bus,
your
so you can't
spam
reply, but
folder
that's
if you
okay.
didn't see the email, because I swear so much stuff goes to spam now. I find stuff in spam
Yeah,
all the
and I
time.
actually have those emails in my workflow of like when I send things out from Pixieset, we also send an email from 17net saying, hey, just a heads up, we sent your gallery over in case you don't see it. So
Yeah.
you always have to check up on that.
Yeah.
Perfect. Well, it was so good to meet everybody. Does anybody else have any other questions?
If not, I think we're good to go.
Terrence, you and I can have a call sometime and just chat details of like what it will look like. I'm
All
also
right.
hoping you can do some like behind the scenes videos and stuff for us.
Oh yeah.
If you're up for it.
Yeah, we'll need behind the scenes for all of it. Yeah, for you and for us. So
Perfect.
That-
all right.
Anne
I
and
told-
Hannah, before, after everybody logs off, can I keep you guys for like 1 extra minute just for an
Yeah.
administrative question? Thank
Yeah.
you.
Yep. And I'll stop the
Yeah.
recording so it's all I'm gonna go ahead and stop the recording now so I don't forget since we're pretty much
Yes.
done.